Hello viewers, I'm currently at Awesomecon 2015. I'm about to get my sonic screwdriver inspected. We've gotten signed in, we've looked at the floor a little bit. Seen quite a few cool people, and look, there's Deadpool. We're about to go see the 501st Legion.
Okay, so the 501st Legion, our mission, what is our mission? Yes, take over the universe with charitable acts of...
Maintain the legally elected government of the Emperor across the galaxy.
Maintain order and peace through superior force and firepower. So who causes trouble for the Legion?
The Rebel Alliance.
Rebels, that's right, they're the bad guys. Guys in orange jumpsuits running around and blowing things up like the Death Star.
I had friends on that Death Star.
You guys blew up their base.
They started.
They started, that's right.
Alvin Johnson, not Alvin, but Alvin Johnson. He wanted to have a set of stormtrooper armor rated to a couple of guys, and he sculpted it from scratch because there was no screen-used armor at that time that anybody was producing mass quantities. So they built it from scratch. Kind of funky, but hey, it was stormtrooper armor. So then they decided, well, we need a mission. What kind of charitable events do we do? Children's hospitals, because they're stuck in there. They got doctors coming in, they got nurses coming in, poking at them, and it's a terrible situation. But what if we could make it just a little? What if they could see Star Wars come to life right there? Wouldn't that be a great escape for them? So that's why we love to visit children's hospitals.
Bring them a little bit of light in their dark times.
Well, there we go. What does I stand for? Yummy food, right?
I'll give you a clue. Twin...
Ion engine.
There you go. Twin ion engine. They fly the special spaceship with 2 wings and a shield and No. Right, so you just make a letter H with a ball in the middle. Hey, there it is, TIE fighters.
Sorry,
Yay.
thank you.
So much braver than those windy rebels in their shields.
So, look who it is.
So I found him eventually.
Well, I found you eventually. There were maps everywhere, I promise you there. Anyway, we just saw, I was just seeing Grant Imahara while we ate lunch.
One simple question. Thomas Edison or Nikola Tesla?
Oh, I'm a Tesla fan.
Woo!
I know history. I watch documentaries. It's Tesla all the way.
So I was wondering, like, if you had any idea of like how many years it would be until we see something similar to like an Iron Man armor, military or something.
Here's the problem with Iron Man armor. Oh, well, there's 2. Like the physical armor itself is no problem. You know, there are exotic materials that you can use, metals that you can use to create the shell. The 2 problems are because Iron Man is augmented, and we're already seeing. I mean, there already exists a number of things that help, in some cases, the elderly, or in some cases, soldiers carry large loads. So it's getting the actuators, the motors that you use to augment his fighting ability and his ability to move the suit around. Because, you know, in a number of these, most of these that currently exist are having to do with your needs, which, you know, it's pretty easy, but when you get down to smaller areas like, you know, your hands, things like that, having motors powerful enough that are small enough to fit without having this bulky thing all the way around you, that's an issue. The other issue is power. Having, you know, even with lithium-ion cells, there's still a limit to how much power, and so, you know, in the comics, they have the arc reactor, which is this, you know, magical thing that Tony Stark invented in a cave. We don't really have an equivalent to that, and so, you know, for us, it's got to be battery power. But I don't know. I think that, you know, there are definitely, because that idea is something that, for a number of different industries, it would be advantageous to have. Like I said, you know, with elderly people and with the military, being able to carry large loads for a long time would be good to have. So, I don't know. I say probably another 10 years or so. Oh, and flying? Yeah, flying's a different deal altogether.
and we are currently heading to see some science in comic books, and then we are going to see a Doctor Who, Star Trek in printed media panel, which will talk about the Doctor Who Star Trek crossover, which I love.
And to my right is the famous artist J.K. Woodward, who actually crossed over Star Trek and Doctor Who.
Woo!
Yeah, what a day that was.
Talk about what that was like.
Well, for a while I've been doing Star Trek work at IDW pretty frequently, and I just started doing some Doctor Who work, and so the question would be every time I call my editor, you got any Star Trek or Doctor Who for me? And then one day I get the answer, we've got both. And as I was trying to figure out how I was going to do 2 titles in 1 month, they explained to me they were doing a crossover. And that's when I knew it was obviously a joke. You know, structurally the Enterprise it's easy to understand, it's organized. You look at a layout and you understand it. It has symmetry. Symmetry is always good. Keeps it simple. And then you have the TARDIS at that time. And it was before the redesign, before the sort of silvery looking. It was the orange, messy, steampunk patched together with duct tape kind of TARDIS. And that was hard to do because you don't really, they didn't provide any schematics, you know, so I just had to freeze frame episodes and go, what the hell is that? Is that a horn of some kind?
And what about getting to illustrate the companions? Because in that case, their body language is vastly, you know, I guess to describe it more kinetic than, say, some of the supporting cast on the Enterprise.
Oh, sure. They're actually, you know, the kinetics of the Doctor, too. That's a lot of fun. That guy doesn't stand still, not Matt Smith. I mean, he has sort of a Robin Williams quality to him.
True. And that rubbery face.
Yeah. And, well, the hardest thing was with his likeness, too, and then when you bring that up, is he has such a thick head of hair but no eyebrows. It gives him a strange kind of plastic look, and it was hard to get that down because when you're painting it, you don't want it to look synthetic. But he has, I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, he's a very handsome man and everything, but he has a synthetic looking face. And I think it's because of the eyebrows. But, and when you're dealing with a Borg ship, the background of a Borg ship, you're talking a lot of intense detail. But the hardest thing I think was the Cybermen ship, which you don't often see. You just see a little piece of it in one of the episodes where there was a scene where Rory goes to talk to the Cybermen in his Rory the Roman outfit, and you just see a glimpse of the Cybermen ships in the background. It didn't really give me much to go on, so the way I got around that is I decided that the Borg were sharing technology with the Cybermen, so I put Borg components all over the ship and filled in the blanks I didn't get with Borg technology. And then they pat me on the back and say, what a clever idea you had there. And they don't realize I was just doing it out of ignorance because I had no idea what
A little bit about him, if you're not familiar with him, he's an American voice actor and singer who has appeared in almost 400 roles. He is known for voicing Darkwing Duck, and look who I have right here. My security, in case any of y'all act up, I'm sending Darkwing on y'all. Alright? He is also known for voicing Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog, Pete, and on Sonic the Hedgehog. He is also the current voice of the Winnie-the-Pooh, Tigger, as well as the Tasmanian Devil, y'all. Wow!
Is what was it like working on Aladdin with Robin Williams?
Who?
Just kidding.
God bless him. How amazing is that dude? No, you know, it's funny because we had all these scenes, but the fact is, we never work them at the same. It's weird. Like people, even believe it or not, even singing, you're not. I mean, I've harmonized with people that aren't there, and it's been that way forever. It's not just like recently. I mean, I got to be friends with Phil Harris, who was the original Baloo before he died, and I was Disney's King Louie. So we got to work together on various things, projects over the years. And I told him, I said, you know, what Jungle Book up until Aladdin was my favorite Disney movie. You know, and it had all that music in it. Well, I'm the king of the swinging, whoa, the Jungle VIP. That's purebred New Orleans, flat-out jazz funeral. And that was Louis Prima's band. And I said, you guys must have tore it up. You must have had to go. He goes, I was never in the same daggone room with him. I said, you got to be kidding me. He goes, no, they do it. So, you know, the point is that we're never in the same room together. And especially movies. A lot of times regular cartoon shows, TV shows are that way, but movies, forget it. Very, very rarely. And I can tell you that Robin was not in the sequel. That was Danny Castellaneta. He was the different genie. It was very cool, killer job, right? And I guess the story is, sorry, I've got this crunch, but I guess the sequel to Aladdin kind of sold like a bagrillion copies, and Robin went, oh, I had no idea, that's fantastic. Maybe I should come back and genie up again. So he did for the third one, and see, he ad-libs a lot. He ad-lib a lot, like 1/1,000,000th as much as well as him, but if you do that, it changes the person's line after you, and it kind of changes the person's line before you and everything. So he had to go back in and kind of spackle up a line or two, because my guy Rasul, I take my orders directly from Jafar, was having an argument with him in the courtroom or whatever. And the joke is that I wasn't there, but they told me, they go, oh, so Mr. Cummings, oh, really? Oh, funny cartoon man. Oh, Mr. Adlib. Well, I'll have you know that I do the ad-libs on this show, and I will not take any guff from a tertiary character. And they were joking, you know. And they actually cut off the very first part of it, of that sentence. And in the movie, the third one, Aladdin and the Prince of Thieves, I think it is, there's a courtroom scene where Genie walks up to Rasul and goes, I will not take a guff from a tertiary character.
And I object to a tertiary character having any lines during my big courtroom scene.
You know, and so I got to be totally dissed by Robin. The first 10 or so they wrote, and I think I said before, I ad-lib a lot, you know, and eventually it got to be where, you know, because he said it every episode, it was like his catchphrase, you know, you got I am the terror that flaps in the night. And then, so, you know, he would get ready to go to battle or go to save, you know, stop the bank robbery. And I'm the terror that flaps in the night. And then the next line would be, why bother writing something here Jim won't say it anyway? He'll just make something up. And then I am Dr. Duck, and they were right. I gotta throw this one in. Because a lot of people have, it's amazing that you guys find these cool Darkwings that from eBay, I guess, with the gas gun and everything. And he had another expression called "suck gas, evildoer." And so, like the second, maybe halfway through the second season, ABC used to be ABC and Disney were different companies back then. So they call up and they go, "Yeah, is he? What is he saying?" Suck gas, evildoer. Okay, so that's a gas gun then. Yeah, not a bullet. Yeah, okay. Will you tell him to really hit the G?
Hang on. There we go. So, there are like 15 minutes, and we are currently in the Mad Dash. So, I thought, hey, might as well take a bit of footage. How are you doing back home, by the way?
It's been pretty quiet. I'm catching up on reading. I'm finally getting to those books I talked about. Yay, books!
Like writing or reading?
Reading.
Which
mostly.
ones?
Finished The Song of Achilles and a couple of Doctor Who novels involving Ten and Martha, and Ten made the absolute worst puns ever.
You will have to recite them at some point.
I don't remember them offhand.
Well, like in another video or something.
We make more sense in context.
Doctor? Oh my gosh, you got the picture. You got the picture.
An autograph.
We are rolling.
Are we rolling? We're rolling, okay.
Apparently we're filming our sign-off videos at the same time,
Yep.
so I don't know how we're going to play with this in the
We'll just say that
editing process.
we hope you enjoyed this video. If this is on Elizabeth's video, you can click on her face to subscribe to her and my face to see the last video.
And a
if,
very handsome face it is.
And if it's on this one, then click on my face to subscribe and hers to see the last video. I think we should say what we always say when we part ways.
Alright, catch you later, town boy.
You'd be the first.